Before we talk about some other stuff, I do want to talk a little bit more about the backlash that Republicans have been facing at these town halls, because it is really, really, really juicy. Obviously, it's good on one level to talk about, like, you know, oh, the honeymoon period's over. Wow, people are already facing the consequences. But it's not enough. To these people, Donald Trump is a god. And I'm not being facetious. Well, only partly being facetious. Republican voters will chalk up the bad things that are happening to Republican mismanagement, not to Trump. Republicans don't really like or care about their elected representatives. They only like Trump. That's why the only qualification you need in order to be a Republican candidate is to like Trump. Literally, that's it. I know it's crazy, but 20 years ago it just wasn't like that. When Republicans were running at, you know, local, state level or whatever, they didn't win by saying they liked Bush more than everyone else. That just wasn't, fealty to the cult was not like a prerequisite for victory. There were other qualifications that people were trying to, you know, to win off of. Obviously no longer. So it's not enough that there be blowback against the representatives. It needs to hit Trump for however long he has left, because again, we really have no idea. Trump's health is kind of a black box, you know? And yet in 2022, every Trump wannabe candidate lost. You mean in the special elections in the midterm when the red wave failed? Yeah, there was more of a pushback there. I think part of that, though, is because at the time, Trump was out of office and there was still like a lingering blowback to January 6th. And for that reason, people weren't really on board with whether or not Trump would continue to be the guiding light of the party. They were still trying to make Ron DeSantis a thing back then, you know? So I think that like fealty was shaken, but now we're very much back on track with the you know, the cult. Roe v. Wade had just gone down too. True, still facing very immediate backlash from the revocation of Roe v. Wade. I'm so happy to never hear DeSantis speak again. Which is insane that they all fell back in line. Well, they needed to in order to win, you know? Because again, Republicans don't like their elected representatives. They just like Trump. It's really important all of this get brought back to Trump, not just these local representatives, you know? No, Vosh, I've literally seen instances of Republicans being like, why are you cutting these programs to other Republicans? And the other Republicans will say, we're carrying out the will of President Trump, only for the first voter to say President Trump would never do this. Yeah, no, it is genuinely a cult. I'm sorry. I know it's a very boring bit of analysis. It's an uninspired observation. I understand this. It's a little trite. It's a little played out, but it remains true nonetheless. It remains true anyway. What do you want me to do? Give me a clip.
My concern right now, and I think I speak for a lot of Americans.
Wow, that audio.
How can we be represented by you if you don't have a voice in Congress?
I'm a registered Republican voter and retired active Army officer. How can you tell me that DOGE, with some college whiz kids from a computer terminal in Washington, D.C., without even getting out into the field, after about a week or maybe two, has determined that it's okay to cut veterans' benefits?
When are you going to wrest control as the Congress back from the executive and stop hurting your constituents?
Are you willing to use your subpoena power to say, Musk, come in here, stand in front of Congress, and answer some hard questions?
When will you stand up to them and say that?
Oh yeah, keep in mind that so far Republicans have just across the board refused to subpoena Elon Musk. Like they have refused to make him even remotely accountable. They don't even, like, if Republicans were even slightly confident in Elon Musk, they would happily subpoena him, because doing so would give him an opportunity to brag as they ask him questions to like gas him up. They'd be like, hey, so how much have you cut? How much have you saved the American people? And Elon be like, the multitudes I am become meme. And they would all like applaud and get 1 million views on YouTube or whatever. But they don't want that motherfucker talking. GOP congressman claims God has a plan for fired federal workers at yet another hostile town hall. I love this shit, dude. 7 hours ago. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you for coming, and I appreciate your kind note saying that, for thanking me for having us. I'm not going to yell at you. Good, thank you. He says Kansas City has 30,000 government employees. How many of them do you think should be fired without cause? What is reasonable about response to our local economy? Look, I think government employees make up the largest sector.
You know what the lesson Republicans are going to learn from this? They're going to stop doing town halls.
for hiring in PC. Is that correct? Yeah. And I know that many of these jobs are very important to making our government function. But I also know, like in business, as I explained before, and it's happened at Fox 4, when you have a change of government in this case, but a change of ownership, and you're looking for waste, abuse, and fraud, and you're looking to cut, to trim down the size of government employees are going to be let go. But that's just the reality of it. And I feel bad.
No, God does have a plan for the United States. It's just not one that we're going to enjoy very much, okay? We have sinned and we have tasted extensively from the pleasures of life. We have ridden on top of the world for too long. And we are, you know, we're about to be turned into pillars of salt, is what I'm saying.
That people have been laid off. I truly do. I understand that. Some of my good friends at Fox 4 were laid off during some of the years. My wife was laid off.
Government is not a business.
But I do know that we've got to downsize our government, make it more efficient and more accountable and more transparent. And I think that's what President Trump's trying to do. You had a quick follow-up, but I can't hear you, Daniel. If you can convince all your friends to. Okay. So I can hear this question. Thank you.
Hey, so I want to let you know.
You have to go.
Okay. I want to let you know there's a legal and proper way to downsize government.
I like how this guy quieted everyone else so that he could have his own. Like, no one here is on the side of the representative, of Mark Alford.
Guys. We're not, this isn't a junior high cafeteria.
So what? It's a legal and proper way to downsize federal employees, and that's not being used at all. But no.
Holy shit. From 4 minutes ago, members of the Congressional DOGE caucus spoke at a press conference outside the Capitol about how they're working in Congress to enshrine the changes spearheaded by Trump and Elon Musk. When asked about federal employees who'd been fired, Representative Ralph Norman said, "Why are they not pleading their case?" The South Carolina Republican said the fired employees needed to justify why they deserve a job with an average salary that tops $100,000. And veterans? Our heart aches for anyone who loses their job, says Rep. Aaron Bean from Florida, the caucus co-chair. There are other opportunities, and if anybody can overcome obstacles getting another job, it's veterans. As the lawmaker took turns at the podium, a small group of protesters and passerby interrupted, yelling insults about DOGE and Musk. This is just another mission, soldier! Welcome back to the United States! Your new mission! Secure private health insurance for no less than $850 a month! Get a job that pays even a fraction of what we offered to you prior, and do not complain no matter what happens! Missions survive. Yeah. Find me that video!
Two, I know you know this already, but I'm going to tell you, investments in the IRS lead to more revenue. Directly, every time, completely. Cutting 1% of my workforce and having me hold them while they cry does not make sense fiscally.
Again, Daniel, I appreciate your leadership there, and you're able to counsel and comfort some of these people that have been let go. I know it's a hardship for families. I get that. The Biden administration, under the Inflation Reduction Act, hired 87,000 new IRS.
We need more.
And so,
More. Hold on, you have a clip? Okay, I think this is a clip of people getting mad at them.
Free trip downtown. How about that? Maybe several of them.
He didn't do anything until you jumped on him.
So,
Gang! Cut the Pentagon budget! It's...
So here we go. I told you, small town. She's
I appreciate that unlike the pro-Gaza protesters, these people have the stones to show up and protest the Republicans. Has anyone else, this is like such an unnecessary side cut, but is anyone else feeling a little bit embittered by the fact that there were so many very aggressive pro-Gaza protesters showing up at Kamala Harris rallies and it never happens to Republicans? Like, you know, I'm just saying, it helps to show up.
the dynamo. She cried.
I'm not saying you're frauds. I'm just saying, like, again, it's important to distinguish yourself from liberals, but it's also important to protest the conservatives too. You can't just protest the liberals, man.
Chairs the budget committee of the
And yeah, that one person on Twitter was like, but they'll hurt us. No, they won't. Shut up, okay? Also, you're a pussy. Okay, this is the full thing, but I want to see the point.
Are y'all ready?
Nah, we know what this is going to be.
Spent wisely. For too long, Washington has treated taxpayer dollars like monopoly money, spending without accountability, racking up over $35 trillion in debt.
Yeah, no, wait, this whole hour long, we know what he says. We know the spicy part. There are so many of these.
Protocol. I'm speaking out of turn, and I apologize about that. I'm a 20-year veteran teacher. As I said, I've been behind you in local stores. You came to the 100th anniversary of the Albany Library branch celebration, where my band played inside. Okay? I saw you on TV at NOAA. I saw you on TV at the Department of Education. What I'm saying is this. Somebody asked you what your red line was, and you said that the time is always right to go. Does that mean the red line has already been crossed? Because I think it has. If you ask us to show up, Congressman Tonko, we will show up. In DC. But it cannot be. We have to take the gloves off. We can't wait for protocol. They're not playing by the rules.
Which state is this? Which rep is this? Paul Tonko Town Hall, this guy? That's not helpful. That's important information. He had a Mets hat? Okay. Oh, r/Albany. Thank you.
One of those places I saw you next to Maxine Waters. Again, I was so proud that my representative was on the front line, right there. But I thought about Jimmy Carter, and I thought about John Lewis.
So this is a protest of a Democrat. 90%. Well, yeah, if it's New York 20, wouldn't it be? I'm pretty sure that's a Democrat seat. I don't have them all like locked in my head. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Good. Anger. Let the anger rise. Not really thematically on board with the anti-Republican protesting, but basically what I'm saying is that I know it's difficult in these times, but if you could throw eggs at your local representative, they probably deserve it. Don't do that. That's assault. I would never. That was a joke. YouTube! That was a joke!
You know what John Lewis would have done? He would have gotten arrested that day. Make them outlaw you. We will stand behind you. We will be there with you. I will get arrested with you.
To cut down on costs of egging our local representatives, we'll be using Fabergé eggs. Dude, there's so many of these. This is Republican.
We're not in a cult. Not as a party.
Elon was going to be the main topic tonight, and he's going to continue to be the main topic tonight.
My "We Are Not a Cult" t-shirt is prompting people to ask questions answered by the t-shirt. Excuse me?
Because we are all free.
We need to really ramp up the Epstein accusations against Trump, which actually seem to be getting louder and louder, which thank God for that, so we can have Republicans showing up at, you know, their constituents' town halls with t-shirts saying, like, Trump is not a pedophile. Which would, you know, I mean, what a rebuttal, right? Like, that kind of answers the question right there, doesn't it?
Freaking pissed off about this. You're going to hear it and feel it.
Tyranny is rising in the White House.
God, look at this. Just absolutely reprehensible. Triangle of the t-shirt showing buttoning point too high, jacket too slim, jacket ends too early, trousers too tight, a bunch of folding right around the crotch because it's way the too tight. Black belt doesn't match shoes. Shoes are dress sneakers rather than proper sneakers. Incredibly, like, small ankle opening. No drape, no shape. Probably a collar gap when you move your arms up. Loser, piece of shit. F you.
House, and a man has declared himself our king. So I would like to know, rather, the people would like to know what you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
That is a lot of, that's a lot of cheering. City of Roswell. Is this Roswell? Rich McCoy. No, Georgia. Okay. Well, there might be multiple Roswells. Let me take a look at how this district voted. 1 second. A safe red district in Georgia? Yeah, let me take a look at the last election. I want to see what margins this guy got voted in. Okay, he got moved from 6th district to 7th district. And, okay, Trump 60-38. 60-38. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty deep red seat.
When you talk about tyranny, when you talk about presidential power, I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected.
When you point out the fact that our current president literally described himself as a king, that reminds me a bit of the dawdling incompetent who was in office that no one remembers or cares about anymore, that everyone forgot about the moment he left office.
The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you. We're supposed to have great balance and power. We are. You can disagree with me all you want, but I'm just telling you the way it is. And I get that you don't agree.
That's the shit people love to hear from their elected officials, man. Hey, you can disagree with me, but it is what it is, you know? Kind of like it's not a democracy anymore. This guy fully believes that he's no longer responsible for his constituents, by the way. Like, there are so many Republican politicians who have privately coddled fantasies of their own little fiefdom and dictatorship for years now, and now that Trump has won again, they're thinking like, finally, I hate these people. I'm rich, I'm smart, these in my district who I've had to coddle and appeal to for decades, it's over now. Now I don't have to pretend. And then he shows up at a town hall in his skinny fit, you know, scene kid ass trousers to get booed by like 150 people with a combined income lower than his, and he's like, Mom, pick me up. Mom, my feet hurt. This cheap PVC foam that I'm standing on rather than real leather, my feet hurt.
Agree with me and you think I'm not telling the truth, unless they're lying to me, and you can say they are. So who? Okay.
So,
What is the expected outcome of Canadian tariffs?
Most of the
This is the guy who said that kids should get jobs to pay for school lunch. The only reason politicians have been getting away with this, and they've been getting away with it a lot more since 2016, is that Trump has given them all a blanket mandate. Since the only thing the voters care about is Donald Trump, they only care about their local representatives insofar as they allow Trump to get his agenda passed. They only care about the leader of the cult. They have been getting more openly evil. Shit like this used to get you ostracized from even the Republicans, you know? Like, not to say the Republicans of old were good. They're not. They were evil. But, like, oh, children can simply get jobs to pay for their school lunches. This is not, like, this kind of obvious contempt for your voter base. They had to try harder to not sound as evil, is what I'm saying. There was a little bit more effort put in. That was recently? This was less than a month ago.
It is a voter suppression law that you signed on as a sponsor of, and I want to know why you're scared for me to vote.
I'm definitely not scared of you, vote.
Chat, why are you not showing up at your local town hall meetings? I want answers to this right now. Why are you not at this moment Googling when and where your representative is doing local meetings with their constituency? And why aren't you going there? Because I'm Canadian? Why are you Canadian? My rep is a Democrat. And? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you think the Democrats? Well, you think they were doing a good job lately? Because I live in Japan right now? Come back. I'm not going because they're not holding meetings, Lamau. Well, go to the neighboring district, okay? It's probably not that far away. Unless you're in, like, Montana or something, you're probably a pretty close drive to the next one. I live in Naziville, Texas. 88% voted for Trump. I don't want to get shot. No! Stop! You're not going to get shot for showing up at a town hall. That's what I mean. That the presumption of that being fearful from the get-go is how they get you. Like, they want you to be fearful and complacent from the get-go so you don't show up. Fear is the mind killer. Beer is the mind chiller. Look, there was something like this that happened recently, but even then it ended up blowing back against them. At a local town hall in Idaho, the venue hired private security to remove this woman. They were private security and they didn't have the authority to remove her. They ended up getting their license suspended. I think that's what I heard. I haven't thoroughly investigated it. So even though they had local Gestapo show up to remove her, it was videotaped and it ended up going viral.
Please get up or be escorted out.
And we're just taking care of the rabble rousers. And eventually what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down.
See, look, even if they send Gestapo to remove you, everyone's booing them. They're taking videos of these guys and it ends up getting a lot of scrutiny of them, you know? Like, you're not going to get shot in a town hall, okay? Or at the very least, if you do, somebody's going to record it and it's going to make great television, okay?
And we'll get back to hearing the legislators. Because really, you didn't come here to listen to me. I just have to...
Booing won't heal broken bones. Your ass is not gonna suffer broken bones. Don't be a pussy. If you say, listen, if you say, I don't want to go to my local town hall because I would rather jerk off and eat Funyuns, that's fine. That's human. Stop pretending. How many videos have you seen of people getting their bones broken for protesting at town halls? You haven't. You haven't seen it.
I have a nice loud voice and a big microphone, and I can talk over all of you. And I can just talk for on and on and on. And look at this little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. Isn't that the problem that we're struggling with so many of the kids today? Is they want to behave hopefully and then not struggle with the consequences. That is shameful. I think
the guy with the mic is a psycho. Yeah, that's why they hired private security to remove this woman, which makes him look terrible. About this story, the incident Saturday at Coeur d'Alene High School, first reported by the Coeur d'Alene Press, drew widespread attention after videos of the turbulence were posted online. Now more than $120,000 have been raised for Teresa Borenpool's legal costs, and the police chief has been asked to have the security firm's business license revoked. And apparently that guy who was first holding him up was a sheriff, or like an off-duty sheriff or something like that, so that's spicy.
What we've got right now is a situation where these folks are trying to filibuster.
Should people throw pennies at them? No, then you will get arrested and charged. You should not do that, in fact. In any confrontation, you should make sure the cameras are on. You should, peacefully comply. Well, depends on if they're cops or not. These motherfuckers are private security. They can't make you leave. You can just sit there. What are they going to do? You know? If the cops ask you to move.
And shut this whole program down. Unfortunately, they're being successful. So all of you who came here...
See? Where's your badge? Who the fuck are you? And the answer is, he doesn't have a badge. He's no one.
To hear the legislators, I applaud you for sitting there and quietly listening. I promise we will get back to you. In the meantime, we've just got to be a little aggressive with some of these folks here.
I will call the...
Look here. No, I shouldn't be removed. I should be allowed to cry and yell and scream.
See, this is fantastic, dude. And it's prompting the psychopath at the microphone to act like this.
I should be able to allow to interrupt.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
This isn't the sheriff. Excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting you. Out this now. Man is assaulting out me. Now, man.
Notice how the Sheriff Norris over here is recording with the phone and is not, in fact, removing her, which is what he would be doing if he was currently operating with the authority of a sheriff. You out now? Is that typically... Do cops typically point their phones at you? You know why he's pointing his phone? Because he doesn't have a body camera on. Why doesn't he? Because he's not on duty. He's pulling his phone out for liability reasons because he picks up overtime with the private security firm that he's getting contracted to this job for. He probably is like one of the ones who recommended it for the purposes of guarding this town hall. This is just a money-making scheme for him. He doesn't want to get sued. That's why he's stepping back and recording.
Let's go. This man is assaulting me. Is this your deputy? Is this your deputy? No, don't.
She's doing fantastic, by the way. Phenomenal work. On her part.
Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
Is she suing them? Yeah. They don't have the legal authority to do this. They're private security.
Social Security recipients.
Now, you might notice that as traumatic as this might be for the woman, you kind of notice that optically this is looking pretty goddamn bad for the private security and the people at the venue. Like, you can see that, right?
We know that government has been mismanaging money.
This is a classic strat, by the way, if you're getting removed by cops or anyone else, which is basically like, if you go limp when cops are removing you, that can be, you can be charged with resisting arrest, which is fair, because you are. With private security, you don't have to fight them, but like, if you flop, what the f are they going to do? They have to physically carry your ass out. This is why you have to gut max, okay? Before you show up at any protest, the fatter you are, the more seriously people will take you, especially if you got like a big beard and a trucker hat. They can't remove your ass. They tase you, the electricity dissipates between your folds. Carb load before every protest. Make these people work to remove you. Notice how she came with a friend group too? The other young women around her, guarantee you they're in a friend group or they knew each other. 100%, yeah. And they're doing exactly what they need to. Recording, shouting, asking the right questions. Great shit.
Just cooperate, it'll be 100 times better.
Yeah, that's what they say to rape victims. You fucking piece of shit. You refuse
Good
to
retort.
identify yourselves. Who are you? Who are you?
To come here today, and I applaud them for doing so. Thank you for coming. But the problem is
See the recording? Terrified with liability reasons.
this. They didn't come here to listen. They came here to interrupt.
Sheesh. She's also a former candidate for local office. Local Dems have the juice. That explains why she's so knowledgeable. Charges dropped against woman after she was attacked by fascist Idaho sheriff. Love that. Love that. But yes, give me more coverage like this. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. This is what I want. The police chief of the town condemned the security firm. Name of security firm confirmed. Ooh, sheriff's department and police department fighting. Hoo-hoo. Yippee. Lear Asset Management, classic security firm name. Norris denied knowledge of the event security arrangements and said he didn't know the security person. Oh, their asses are in trouble, man. The security firm is based in California. They're not even local. They tend to be pretty big because it takes a lot of capital, like startup, to get the insurance and licensing that you need. Borenpol said she bit one of the men who was dragging her from the auditorium. I don't know if that's necessarily like best practice, but it is based in this specific instance, you know? Damn, when they said this will be easier if you don't fight back, and she retorted that's what they tell rape victims. What? 9,000 IQ on this woman. The retort, like having the brain cells left to hit back with shit like that while you're struggling, rather than what most people would come up with, which is like, which to be fair, you know, yeah, you're busy, you know, you're operating on multiple levels. That was really good. That was a good shot. Good Disco Elysium roll. Oh yeah, for sure. You've got like the rhetoric rolled down, the 666. It's so easy to start screaming like crazy, legit terrifying, very strong person to be composed like that. No kidding. This is like a 99th percentile performance in terms of getting removed by private security. You're basically giving all the detractors nothing to focus on except for the behavior of the speaker on stage and the security firm. Like you're only getting dubs from her. You know, she's not giving you a damn thing to feed off of. She ran as a Democrat for a legislative seat in 2020, 2022, and 2024. Based. Local Dems, man. Wouldn't the bite be self-defense? Well, I'm just saying, like, in the legal long term, it probably won't help you, but, you know, sure, whatever. I'm not condemning her. She's amazing. I would have sobbed. What other clips do I have on the docket for this? Sean Hannity to caller pleading for the jobs of military vets in the federal government. There will be other opportunities. They really are, like, abandoning the pretense of serving their constituency. They're dropping it. Yeah, get a real job in the private sector. F you. Have you tried working at Subway? Jesse Waters. Well, Jesse Waters is really obviously evil, so I would expect him to be like pretty contemptuous. If she was Republican, she would be in every Fox interview from now on, sicko Dems. That is true. That is 100% true. Yeah, absolutely. There is no reason why Democrats shouldn't be running with this like nonstop. She should be at the goddamn like White House right now. Not the White House, sorry. She should be at the Capitol building right now, like getting interviewed by like every Dem rep, you know? Invite her on, Voosh. I would never denigrate her by associating her with myself. She deserves a higher seat. I hope she runs off of this. I mean, she ran in 2024. Kamala Harris should be boosting this. Kamala Harris is dead. Has Jeffries commented on this? Jeffries is dead. That little girl's afraid to leave. Bejarana called from the stage. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. Yeah, the guy on the stage was literally like, and like that motherfucker is like an actual brown shirt. 100%. Okay, it's honeymoon period's running out.